Love isn't about the easy days. And I learned that in the hardest way. He made promises. We both did. He promised to stay, but I will never forget that moment, when I needed him the most. It wasn't the pain. It wasn't the diagnosis. It was the silence. Suddenly, I didn't know what hurt more. I don't talk about this often, but maybe someone out there needs to hear it. Because sometimes, love seems to leave without warning. And you're left asking, was it real? My name is Emily, and I remember the first time I saw him. Michael was calm, focused, completely out of my world. I was sure I had life all figured out. I didn't care about school. I wanted to be a model. I loved my hair, long, silky, perfect. I spent hours taking care of it. Comfort was everything, and I made sure everyone knew I was too good for stress. But then he walked into my living room, hired as my private tutor. He was different. Quiet. Humble. His textbooks were worn, but well kept. And inside his backpack, I saw a Bible and a wooden cross. Religion? Discipline? Struggle? I thought all of that was nonsense. I even tried to convince him to just give me the answers. Come on, Michael. No one needs to suffer to succeed, I said. Pain was optional to me, and I always chose the other way. But he didn't laugh. He didn't give in. He believed I could do better. And somehow, he made me want to try. He taught me that what's truly valuable in life usually comes with effort and might be difficult. We fell in love slowly. Michael wasn't the kind of guy who rushed things. He listened. He cared. He noticed the little things. And over time, I stopped caring about the easy way out. He challenged me in a way no one ever had. When he asked me to marry him, I was surprised. But I said yes. I loved him. I trusted him. But then came the part one didn't expect. He wanted to get married in a church. Not just any church, his church. Before Father Joseph, the man who raised him. The one he called his second father. I didn't understand it. Why go through all these rituals? I asked him. It's just a formality. We love each other. That's what matters. He smiled. Quietly. But I saw how that it meant something to him, to please his adoptive father. And I didn't know what to do. It felt unnecessary. Uncomfortable. I didn't even believe in any of it. A voice in my head kept saying, this matters to him. Maybe it should matter to me too. Then, one day, it started with a strange dizziness. Just a few seconds. Then, it passed. I thought it was nothing. Maybe I stood up too fast. But the next day, it came back. And again, the day after that. Then, I couldn't breathe. I couldn't speak. Michael rushed me to the hospital. They ran tests. So many tests. I waited for weeks, taking pills that cost more than we could afford. Michael took on more students. He worked double shifts. All to keep me stable. Until the day the doctor came in with that look. The one that makes your heart stop. It's cancer, he said. Lung cancer. I couldn't breathe, felt like the world collapsed under my feet. I wanted to disappear. But Michael, he stood strong. He held my hand. He said, We'll fight this. Together. And he did. Even when I gave up, he didn't. The worst day was the day I lost my hair. The nurses shaved it. I cried so hard they had to sedate me. When I woke up, I saw Michael beside me. For a moment, I thought it was just a dream. But then I looked in the mirror. And there I was. Bald. I didn't recognize myself. I didn't want to live. But he never left. He was always there. He reminded me of his own story, of being orphaned, of being raised by a strict but loving priest who pushed him to study, to work hard, to survive. Michael had always fought. And now, he fought for me. But the bills kept coming. I needed surgery. An expensive one. He had online students. He taught from the hospital, right beside my bed. To get the money for the surgery, he pushed himself to work harder. He barely slept. He corrected homework at 3 a.m. All just to keep me alive. He prayed every day. The surgery was our best shot, and he believed that with this surgery everything would be fine and we would get through it. And I believed in him. The surgery took hours. I don't remember much from those days. I drifted in and out of sleep, barely conscious. I had a feeding tube. I couldn't speak. But every time I opened my eyes, he was there. Awake. Silent. I could feel how exhausted he was. Then, the doctor came in. I was too weak to understand much, but I heard the words. There's improvement. But the treatment isn't over. More surgeries. Long-term follow-up. No easy way out. I accepted it. It was just another battle. But something shifted in Michael. He didn't say anything. He just stared at the doctor. Like someone had pulled the ground from under him. His face was pale. His hands started shaking. He stood up. Knocked over a chair. Mumbled something. I tried to calm him down, but he wouldn't hear me. He kept saying, "It's over. It has to be over. I can't take this anymore." He looked at me, but I don't think he saw me. Or maybe he didn't even recognize himself. Then, he turned around and walked out. He just left. And right there, as I saw his shadow pass by, a thought exploded in my mind. Did my husband just abandon me in the hospital? Did he walk away? After everything? And then I saw it, a memory. Like a movie inside my head. Our wedding day. In that small church. Before Father Joseph. He held my hand and said the words. In sickness and in health. Even though I hadn't believed in that ceremony, I did it for him. Because I thought it meant something. Even if I couldn't understand everything, I realized it was sacred. For both of us. Suddenly, I was back in the hospital room. Machines beeping. Nurses rushing in. Tears running down my face. I tried to get up. I wanted to scream. But I couldn't. My whole body was frozen, my chest heavy, my heart screaming in silence. The last thing I remember was the nurse giving me a shot to calm me down. And the cold silence. I didn't know if he had really run away. I was too weak, too broken, and almost unconscious that night. No one told me anything. And for years, I didn't ask. Time passed, but that doubt stayed deep down inside me. Until one day, much later, I finally found out. Michael had really left that hospital room, but not to disappear. He ran to the only person who had ever guided him through darkness. Father Joseph. Terrified, ashamed, exhausted, he told the priest everything. "I'm not strong enough," he said. "I can't carry this. I can't watch her suffer and pretend to be okay." He thought he had failed. As a man. As a husband. And Father Joseph looked at him, with the same eyes that raised him. And he said something that changed everything. "Marriage is not about easy days. It's about carrying the cross together. Love is not the absence of pain. It's the choice to stay and remain faithful, even when pain is all there is." He reminded Michael of his vows. Of what he promised before God. Of what real love means. Embracing the cross in infinite love. To give, to sacrifice, to remain. "God never places on us a weight heavier than we can carry," he said. The next morning, I opened my eyes. And there he was. Back there, on his feet. Eyes red. Hands folded. Quiet. Even though I couldn't speak, I smiled. Because somehow, I knew. He had come back. Not just to the hospital, but to me. To us. Recovery was slow. Months passed. I came back home. But I didn't feel like myself. My hair was gone. My body was weak. Even when it started growing again, it came back dry, curly, nothing like before. I looked in the mirror and saw a stranger. I felt ugly. Broken. Lost. I couldn't see myself as a wife anymore. But Michael never changed. He treated me the same. Cooked for me. Took care of everything. Told me I was beautiful. Told me I was still me. I didn't want to hear it. One day, I broke down completely. Panic. Tears. I couldn't breathe. How did life become so hard? I kept asking myself. This wasn't the future I dreamed of. Then one day, Father Joseph came to visit. I didn't want to hear anything. "But that's when we found you, Isabel. I didn't even know at first that you were his recommendation. But you helped me see it. Life isn't about what I want. It's about what I can do with what I have. And how I can give it to others. You helped me surrender. And for the first time, I did. To God. To life. To love. And for Michael's joy and for my true joy, I began going to church with him. I started believing in what he always carried in his heart. We found strength in the cross. In sacrifice. In walking together. We started working together online. Side by side. Supporting each other. One day, I looked at him. And I realized he needed care too. Not just me. I realized I could turn my cross into love and true joy by serving and helping him and everyone around me. This catastrophe changed our marriage forever. It lasted much longer than we imagined. It hurt more than we thought we could bear. But something unexpected happened. The more it hurt, the more our love grew. I used to think love was the feeling of comfort. Now I know. Love is sacrifice. Love is service. Love is fidelity when everything inside you wants to run away. Call it what you want. Pain, cross, suffering. But those moments define your life. And you have to ask yourself, will I reject reality or embrace it? I began to understand that everything is part of God's plan. That everything works together for good for those who love Him and stay faithful. He even knows the number of hairs on my head. Years later, I was finally free from cancer. My hair came back to what it used to be. But by then, it didn't matter anymore. Because I had something even greater, a baby on the way. And now, all I want is to live. Not for myself, but for my husband. For our baby. For this new life. Now I know what love truly is. Sacrifice. Service. Fidelity. Mutual care. No matter what happens. The future? I have no idea. But now, we're ready. Because we know it won't go our way. We are in God's hands. And whatever new cross may come, we'll embrace it and carry it with a smile. Because every cross is a new opportunity to love again. And grow stronger. Together.
Thank you, Emily. I'm so proud of the strength you found in your pain. You didn't just survive, you realized what the cross really is, real love. Some people walk away when things get hard. Some close their hearts forever. But you and Michael chose the harder path. The path of real love. Through sacrifice. Through faith. Through surrender. And you, watching this, what would you have done? Would you have stayed? Would you have felt betrayed if your partner walked away? Even if they came back? Do you believe love still matters when everything hurts? Do you think faith can really carry us through pain? Let me know in the comments. Your opinion matters. Your story matters. This was the story of one of my patients at the end of her treatment. Her name was changed, and the details were adapted with her permission. I'll keep posting these stories from my psychological consultory to help you learn English and reflect on life. Because these aren't just stories. They're stories that heal, teach, and transform. And if you feel like sharing, leave your story in the comments. I'll do my best to respond with therapeutic insights. Please like, subscribe, activate the notifications bell, and share this video with someone who might need to hear it. I'll see you in the next one.